Have you ever been in a situation where you found the perfect house in the perfect neighborhood, but the house needs a lot of work? You have the money to buy the house, but not enough money to make the repairs. Well, I have a solution for you. This is James Williams, your Marine Corps Realtor. There's a program called the 203k program, and I want to give you an overview of how it works. So what this is, this program allows you to buy the house in the neighborhood that you like. And let's say it needs a new roof, a new kitchen, new bathroom. Well, that may cost $50,000 or $60,000, and you don't have that. Well, the bank will allow you to buy the house. After you buy the house, they'll give you the cash to do the repairs. And then after the repairs are done, then that loan becomes one big mortgage. So that process is called the 203k loan. It is an FHA loan. They have another variant that is called a home style and some other loans, but this is the one I want to focus on today. So what are the advantages of this? Number one, the bank will give you the cash up front for the renovations. It doesn't come out of your pocket. The bank gives the cash to the contractor to fix your house. The second advantage is you can create a home that meets your needs. So let's say you find a home in a perfect neighborhood, but you want to get a better bathroom or a better kitchen, a better roof. This allows you to buy the house in your neighborhood. Next, number three, there's instant equity. So typically when you buy a house, you're going to get it at a significant discount. Add your renovations, afterwards you should have at least 5 or 10% equity. And the last is less competitive. If you have the perfect house in the perfect neighborhood and it's priced properly, there's going to be a lot of offers on the table and you're going to have to be more competitive. In this situation, it won't be as competitive because a lot of people don't want to put on a new roof. They don't want to build a new kitchen or build a new bathroom. So this puts you at an advantage. There are three disadvantages that I see. The first one, it takes 45 to 55 days to close the deal. Typically when you write an offer on a house, it takes 25 to 30 days. In this case, it can be 45 to 55 days. The second is finding a qualified contractor to do the work. The contractor has to be licensed, bond, insured in that area. And also you need a reliable person, so that's critical to making the deal happen. The other disadvantage is that the contractor doesn't get paid up front. Typically when you have a new roof or a new kitchen, new renovations, the contractor will want 30 to 50% up front so they can get started. In this case, they get $0 up front and then they get paid after each phase, and there's typically 4 to 5 phases. So let's say phase 1 is demolition. They do the demolition. After the demolition is done, then they'll get paid for the work. The second is plumbing and electrical. After they do the plumbing and electrical, then they'll get paid. So that's an example, is they get paid after they do the work, which is not normal. All right, so let's go over the process and then we'll delve down into some of the processes in a few minutes. So the first thing is you want to find a house, buy it, make an offer, ratify it. After you do that, there's going to be what's called a HUD consultant. And that HUD consultant is hired by the bank. That person is going to come and look at the house and say, okay, it needs a new bath, kitchen, and roof. And your thoughts are it's going to cost $50,000. He's going to be their eyes and ears to make sure that that really kind of makes sense and that it can be done. And also he's going to make sure that everything's done according to FHA guidelines. The next step is termite inspection, and that is just what it is. Checking the house to make sure the house doesn't have termites, and if it does, make sure that it is treated. Next is the GC write-up. So the general contractor that you hire will come and look at the house, and based on what you want to put in it, he'll come up with a time and material of what it'll cost and how much time it'll take to actually build it out. Now, the GC and the HUD, and the HUD consultant, they work hand in hand, but we'll go into that in a few minutes. The next thing is the appraisal. The appraisal is just like any other appraisal for a house, but in this case, there's two steps. Step number one is the as-is value of the property in the distressed state. And then the second appraisal, same person, is the after repair value. So the house as it is worth $200, but after the repairs it's worth $300. So that's what they mean by after repair value. The next step is closing. So the closing, like I said, because we have the HUD consultant, you have the GC write-up, and you have, the two-phase appraisal, it takes a little bit longer. So it could take about 45 to 55 days. After you go to closing, that day you own the house. The next day, your renovations start. That's when you start your renovations, as soon as you do the closing. Now, the way that the GC gets the money, like I said, it's in 4 tranches. So usually phase 1, like I said, is demo. Phase 2 could be framing. Phase 3 could be electrical, plumbing. Phase 4 could be, drywall, and then phase 5 could be, let's say, the final inspection. So during those phases, that's when the bank will actually issue the funds at the completion of each phase to the general contractor. Then we do the final inspection. The HUD consultant comes out and makes sure that the actual work is done to FHA guidelines. And then what happens, it converts into a mortgage. So during this period, typically you're not making any mortgage payments until the loan conversion, which just means after the repairs have been done. Okay, so the next step is a HUD consultant and a GC write-up. Remember, they work sort of hand in hand. HUD person is really reporting to the bank. The GC is sort of reporting to you. You talk about what you want to have done for the kitchen, what you want to have done for the bathroom, the roof, etc. Puts together his write-up. The HUD consultant sort of validates it and makes sure everything kind of makes sense. And, then he'll send that to the bank and make sure everything's done properly. Appraisal and renovation. Remember, there's 2 parts to it. That is the as-is and then the after-repair value. And then the next is the renovations begin right after you go to closing. They typically give you about 6 months to get it done. So that's something you should keep in mind as you're building this out. And we talked about the rehab funds. Again, they're done in 4 to 5 draws. Final inspection is done. HUD consultant says it meets FHA guidelines. And then it converts to a loan. Once the loan is converted, that means the initial price of $200,000 plus a $50,000 with renovation. So your new loan is now $250,000, and that's spread out typically over a 30-year period. So there you are. That's how the 203k process works. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. This is James Williams, your Marine Corps Realtor. Hoorah!